So,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
never actually seen this like waveform come
Yeah,
up.
man. It shows you the whole thing.
Because it's in like left and right. It has like an interesting look.
Exactly.
Wow.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the
Quarterly report.
Quarterly report with Smitty.
You
and
almost said the
Breezy.
other podcast.
I almost said the other one. Yeah. Not the enemy, just the other one of many business ventures.
Many
business ventures. How you been, man?
Yeah,
Been a while.
I've been loving life.
Yeah.
It's school holidays right now, and I work in a school, so
You're on
it
holidays.
means I don't have to show up to what. Well, there's no work to show up to,
That's
I
right.
suppose. But last week I went on a conference to
Jeez.
Queensland. Yeah.
Was it Brizzy or was it just...
It was Sunshine Coast. But went to like a resort.
How was
But
it?
It was work. It was technically work, quote unquote.
You know, I still haven't been to Queensland.
I didn't know that.
The last time I was supposed to go, it was your birthday.
Yes.
Last year.
Yeah, it was meant to go.
And it got cancelled on us because of lockdown.
Because of a lockdown.
And then ever since then, I have a mate up there as well. Daniel, you know Daniel.
Oh, I didn't know Daniel was up there.
Yeah, he was. But then, for some reason, I just haven't made my way up north, I call it.
Up north.
Yeah, up north.
Yeah.
But it's warmer up north for some reason.
Yeah.
But I digress.
What about yourself? How's life?
Yeah, life is good, man. I'm literally just sat. I'm not on holidays like yourself, so I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not out here chilling, but not much work. I'm due for a trim, so anybody who's seen me recently, I haven't cut my hair. And thank you for not saying anything, because shambles. But I'm due for a trim, so I'm thinking maybe I'll go tomorrow.
Yeah.
Skin fade as always, you know.
Yeah, skin fade. Nice.
Yeah, none of this. No trying extra stuff. I was thinking about maybe a fro or a mohawk. We're not going back to those days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, them is
not feeling too adventurous.
Yeah, them is children days. I had one in year 8, and I just said, you know what? I'm never doing this again. People just look at you funny. I was like, what is that? How did you? Didn't get the reaction I wanted it to get.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Oh, fair enough.
What's been happening otherwise? I know we're supposed to. Our job on this pod is to tell people what's been happening in the world. And you come up with a list of things, a plethora, if you will.
I have a plethora of things, and we'll probably sort of skip over some of it.
Yep.
I sort of. My research consists of looking up literally the number 2022 and then clicking on the Wikipedia article.
Dude, when I saw the notes of like what this podcast had to cover, I was like, there's no way.
No.
There's no way.
If we covered everything, it'd be like a 3-hour podcast.
No, there's no way. But hey, man, it tells you, like, what is it now? August? No. What month is it?
July.
July.
Yeah, we're recording in the middle of July. But we would have been recording last week, but
earlier.
I was in another state. So.
And then we would have recorded the week before, but Luke was free and I wasn't.
Yeah.
Caused the whole thing, but we're here now.
We're here now. So yeah, I had a look at the Wikipedia and it kind of made me sad. Like there was there was mass shootings. There was a bomb attack. There was a bunch of elections. I was like, okay, that's a bit dull and boring. 1,000 people died in an earthquake on the Durand Line. There was a G7 summit where they banned Russian gold imports.
Jeez.
People were found dead in a trailer. Like all this really just like sad stuff.
Sure.
Happened, and so yeah, I wanted to start off on a light note.
You know what was sadder than all of that?
What?
The Premier League ended.
Oh, did it? I didn't know.
Oh, it's just the end. It's just the end of the season. It's not that major.
Who won?
I hate to say it, man. It was Manchester City. Manchester City. You don't watch? That's right. So you
I don't watch.
You're not in tune with the. This is big for me. Like every year now, Manchester City's been winning.
The only sport that I've really actually watched a whole game of is, well, I used to watch a lot of esports, but I watched the State of Origin last night, which
Was that last night?
technically not June. It was on last night, and I was like, I understand. I was
Yeah.
like, I usually don't care about sports, but I was like, I actually kind of like, I'm sad that the team that I supposedly should go for was the one that lost. I'm like, okay,
Who lost?
I get it. New South Wales lost.
We lost.
Yeah,
What's going on?
don't know.
How have we done that?
They
then?
just they were winning the first half,
Yeah.
and then they got no points in the second half. They just like totally
Jeez.
mind the pun. They dropped the ball.
Ah,
They literally dropped the ball too.
Yeah, I've tried to.
times.
Yeah, I don't know. I've tried to like rugby. I haven't understood it all that much. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
getting more into understanding it now. It's just
I don't understand all the little rules where they're like, oh, that was foot, or that was this and that, and then they're going in the sin bin. I mean, some guy had a full punch up. Some guy
really?
like punched the other guy in the face. I was like, okay,
those are fun to watch.
I understand
man.
what a sin bin is now.
No, those are fun to watch. Like in hockey,
mate.
I don't watch hockey, but if you're ever watching like hockey NHL highlights, they have like a box that they put you in. I could butcher this. So if there's like any hockey fans, excuse me.
They put you in the ice box.
They put you in like a box, the penalty box. And you can
penalty
literally
box.
fight that guy. And then if you want to fight somebody on the field, you throw your hockey sticks down. And you're
the
like,
heck?
hey, we're throwing down. It's legal. The ref's not going to try
Wow.
to stop you or anything until somebody cries uncle.
Oh,
It's awesome, man. America. You're amazing.
America.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Yeah, so speaking of America and speaking of hockey, another country that likes hockey
Oh,
is Canada, right? Don't
I'm sure they do.
Canadians do hockey? I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But that was a great segue into what I wanted to start with because it sounded really fun. Is the Canada and Denmark over 50 year? I'm pretty sure it's longer, just over 50 years. They've had what's been called the Whiskey War.
Ooh.
Now, what do you think a whiskey war is?
If I was to guess.
If you were to guess and you didn't read the notes that I wrote beforehand and that you definitely read.
In my humble opinion, the whiskey wars are wars to see who, and I could be wrong, could ingest the most whiskey.
Right, okay. Yeah, it's not that.
Stop.
It's not as fun as that. That
Explain.
would be funny. But on the 14th of June,
No.
they ended a quote-unquote war over an island called the Hans Island. So it's a 1.2 square kilometer landmass, and there's no one who actually like lives there or has claimed that land.
Sure.
But the way that they like waged this war is that a Canadian or a Danish group would land on the island with their boat, and then they'd leave their country's signature liquor on the island, and then raise their flag and like sometimes set up a cheeky like note saying like, "Oh, it's ours now."
Oh, jeez.
And that's been going on since 1973. But that conflict ended with them splitting the island. And then, like, the people who were there sort of offered their last bottles of their liquor. So, the whiskey, the Canadian whiskey, and the Danish schnapps.
Yep.
And they just like offered it to each other, and we're like, "Hey, let's share a drink."
That's so nice,
That's
man.
so cool.
That's so nice, bro. I didn't know they were fighting about how big did you say it was?
1.2 square kilometers. So it's like,
Yo, that is
pretty
ridiculous, man. What are they fighting over? They're fighting over Tasmania. Tasmania is bigger than 1.2. I know this.
Well, if you know something that's 1.2 square kilometers, that's
I know
like,
nothing.
I don't know. We had to run around our school 3 laps to get to 1 kilometer. So I don't know.
Around your school?
Yeah.
The
But it's
entire
like-
school?
But I think so.
Ag plot, everything? Did you guys have an agriculture plot?
I think we ran around it 2 times to get to 1 kilometer. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But it's like, so imagine like you drive, you are in one corner of this island. You drive for 1 minute at 60 kilometers an hour, and you're at the other end of the island.
For 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute of driving.
That's deeper math, you know. So
at 60 k's an hour.
Yeah, right. Jeez, I don't even know why you fight. Why you're fighting over that? First of all, isn't Denmark like Northern Europe?
Yeah. But I think I don't know why they're like that. So something that it said on the article was that like because of the conclusion that they came to where they split the island, they actually have the longest maritime border in the world between Canada and Denmark. So like a maritime border is like where you have a border between two countries if they're on the same landmass. Right. But because they're such far apart countries, separated it's like the longest border that's shared between the two countries on the same landmass. I think that's what that means. Sure. But
all the maritime folk, kill him in the comments if you butchered that. You might have
send
just
us an email.
So blasphemous in the maritime community.
Yeah, in the maritime community,
geez, whatever. You might have just ruffled feathers. I'm telling you. Sort of on sad news, country I love, Japan. Yeah. Their minister. I'm gonna butcher his name. I think Minister Abe or President Abe got assassinated. You didn't see that?
I didn't know. I didn't.
Yeah, man, just the other day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like obviously guns are illegal there, but this guy shot him in the middle of a press conference, made it through security, background checks, whatever. But it was a makeshift gun that he made.
Oh my!
And shot the guy. It was crazy, bro. It's all over the news. You ever heard that? Really?
No, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, man, it was very sad. But you know, hopefully Japan's doing okay. Yeah. I'm looking to visit, like, of all the places, because you know, obviously we haven't been able to travel during lockdown. Years. Yeah, I really, really want to go to Japan again. I'm sure you've heard stories, and all the countries are great to visit. Japan is as legit as it gets. It's beautiful there.
Yeah. I think it sounds like a good place to go. Like, I'm very keen to go.
So 2023, the quarterly report.
That's us.
Tokyo edition.
It'd be like, we're reporting from Tokyo.
Arigato.
Arigato gozaimasu.
What did you say? Guzman's?
Gozaimasu.
Gozaimasu. That's the one.
It's like saying thank you instead of thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Arigato gozaimasu.
Yeah.
You can't tell.
So fun times. I think the next thing I wanted to look at, moving far down the list, is something that I found really, really interesting. Sure. And someone
lay it on us.
Someone I went to school with sort of sent me a message and was like, I don't know what. Oh, that's right. I had invited him to like the quarterly report on Facebook.
Come on.
And he sent me a message. He's like, oh, what's this about? What's this quarterly report that you invited me to and stuff like that? Yeah. I'm like, oh, like it's a podcast, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Explained it to him and he's like, oh, cool. Anyway, how are you? And like had a conversation. Jeez. But then he's like, he told me about this, that NASA launched a rocket in the Northern Territory in Australia on the 26th of June. So it's called the Black Brant 9. Oh. And it's the first commercial launch that NASA has done outside of the USA.
Hold up. You mean they haven't done it anywhere else?
Yeah. NASA specifically. I don't think so. Or maybe it's the first. Maybe it's because it's the first commercial. That's the first commercial launch.
Sure. No, man, that's this big.
But so the thing that they launched was a sounding rocket.
What is that? What is a sounding?
I thought that you would ask that.
How is it different from an imaging rocket?
Well, yeah, exactly. When I was reading it, I was like, what's a sounding rocket? And just like typed it up. Sure. And I found out that a sounding rocket is a suborbital rocket.
Of course.
It doesn't quite make it to orbit. But it has like instruments on board to take measurements and perform different experiments. In that flight that it takes.
Sure.
And it had what's called an X-ray quantum calorimeter, an XQC on board.
Hold up. Let me say that word. It's called an X-ray quantum calorimeter.
Yep.
They're making this stuff up on the go.
And so the purpose of this device is to examine X-rays in the interstellar medium.
That's a great movie, you know. Interstellar.
Yep, interstellar medium.
But then
So like what the interstellar medium is this big area or zone of like gas and dust that sort of hangs around between different like solar systems or star systems. And so they're looking to find the source of where the X-rays that are coming from like the inner parts of our galaxy, they're like trying to figure out where do these X-rays originate, because they know that there's X-rays coming from like the middle of the galaxy or something.
Lithosphere in there.
Yeah.
Sure.
But they sent over 70 personnel from NASA.
Wait, they have people in this thing?
No. They sent over 70 people down to Australia.
Down to Australia.
Sorry, yeah.
I was going to say,
because this is like Australia news. Like this is big for Australia.
It's big, man.
Yeah.
This is huge. The last big thing. There is no last big thing. This is huge for us.
I feel like this is the biggest thing.
This is it, man.
So the reason that they're doing these studies in Australia, and the reason that they're sending it from Australia, is because they're apparently studies that can only be done from the southern hemisphere.
Come on.
Yep.
That's us.
That's us.
Winter and July, isn't it?
Exactly. Winter and July. That's not a thing that Americans experience. So they're going to have some more missions. Well, I think they've already had them, but their other missions are focusing on the study of Alpha Centauri, which is, it's like the closest star to us, and it's like something like 4 light years away. Yeah. So it's pretty far away, but it's the closest star that's to us. And I loved the names of the things that they're launching. So they're launching one. It's like some really long name. Like this is a abbreviation. But the names they came up with were Cysteine and Deuce.
Yeah, Deuce. All Deuce.
Like a deuce.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and they were launched, I think they were already launched on like the 4th and the 12th of July. And they're to try and model stars that are either bigger or smaller than our sun, like various different sizes.
Sure. And
figure out how the size of the star in a solar system affects what the atmospheres of the planets in that system are like. So it's really they're really exploring a lot.
Yeah, they're doing deeper magic.
Yep.
Yeah, good for them, man. Listen, can I be absolutely honest with you? I have no idea what we just read. Zero. Astrophysics from the quantum calorimeter into the 12th of July? What is that, bro? But it's happening in Australia.
Yeah, so
I'm gassed up, man.
So I wrote some other things, like they found some black hole, like a cluster of like 100 black holes.
Where?
In
space. Yes,
in space, yeah. NGC 3201, whatever that means. I met her in Italy. And there was another one called NGC 6397, and apparently I just found the quote really funny. It said that it had ejected most of its original black hole population.
Huh?
I don't know, just the word population for black holes. I'm like, what?
Yeah, good for them.
And so I don't know what that means, but apparently there was a big cluster of black holes and they all just went walkabout, and now there's a lot of white dwarf stars there or something. I don't know, man.
Great stuff, man. They could tell me I'll believe them. Yeah. Good stuff, man.
The 16th of... So this is all... I didn't really prompt you to say we're going through all the science and technology news.
We went through it, man.
On the 16th of June, researchers in the UK have sort of... It said that they described it, so I don't think they've quite like reached a point where it's a active thing. But they've sort of tried to develop a thing called photoimmunotherapy. So it's a light activated treatment that could possibly join the other 4 major forms of cancer treatment.
Okay.
So it's meant
like
to
chemo
like help
and
with chemo, surgery, the other ones I don't know.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So that sounds really interesting.
Yep.
I think you're gonna find this one
Tell me. Hit me.
Kind of funny.
Hit me.
On the 21st of June, there was a study that correlated the inability to stand on one leg for 10 seconds in mid to later life. They correlated that as linked to an almost double in the risk of death from any cause within 10 years of you not being able.
Man.
So I was like, what?
Oh, wait, no, mid to later. Oh, that's not us.
So, like, if you can't stand on one leg for 10 seconds when you're in your mid to later life, they somehow found a link between that and people
you will
having
die immediately.
A doubled risk of death from whatever cause it may be in the next 10 years.
Man, I'm not with that.
I read that and I was like,
jeez,
what?
That doesn't... So you're going to die... All right, ladies and gentlemen, according to this research, if you're, 40 to 50?
40 to 70.
Yeah, whatever
40
the
or
age
older.
is.
Maybe
40 or older,
older.
maybe let's say the 55. If you can't stand on one leg for more than 10... That's crazy.
More than 10 seconds, then you have almost a double in risk of death from whatever.
You know, technically,
Within the
I'm a
next 10 years.
scientist. I'm going to write something like this, and I'm going to get it peer-reviewed.
There was something really cool. Another big Australia thing on the 23rd of June. Sorry.
Sure.
We had the world's first quantum computer integrated circuit, and that was demonstrated at my very own university.
At your university.
Yeah,
Go visit him
UNSW
if you guys are free in the afternoon. UNSW in Kensington.
In Kensington, yeah.
Ridiculous.
I probably won't be there.
Ridiculous trek.
Pausing my studies, but yeah.
No. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and Samsung announced a smaller computer chip that's going to reduce power consumption up to 45% and improve their performance by 23%.
Is this like their own silicon kind of thing?
I think so. But there's like a whole chip shortage across the world, so that's going to be interesting. There was a big recall of Toyota cars, the BZ4X. I don't know what that is, but basically they said people with like very low mileage on their car had like a susceptibility of the wheels literally coming off.
That's one of
just
the
as they're driving.
Hey, but I'm Toyota gang.
I'd rather recall it if they said that's gonna happen. I'm like, yeah.
That's just not a thing that should happen, is it? That shouldn't happen.
It's not. And a very big win in the tech space, Internet Explorer, after 27 years, has finally been shut down.
Why is that happy? Why are you happy for that,
riddance.
Man? Internet Explorer carried a lot of people over.
Internet Exploder.
When they didn't know between Chrome and Firefox and, Safari, and Internet Explorer held it down. And you're out here poo-pooing them, bro.
Not that Microsoft Edge is any better.
Edge is the same thing. It's just rebrand. Hey, Internet Explorer, good for you. I'm snapping my fingers for you right now. Good stuff, man. You carried a lot of people over.
Snapping your fingers for them dying and shutting down?
No, it's what's the word they use? I believe it's
celebration
French.
of
homage in that. It's an homage to the greatness. Let me take that back.
Greatness?
to its continued unpredictability in its reliability.
Yes, it had longevity, I suppose.
It was there.
My
27 years.
My IT teacher, like the computer room teacher, at my school would always call it Internet Exploder.
Jeez.
He's like, open up Internet Exploder and download Chrome.
IT teachers are like that. I always think they can throw puns at you.
They think they're hilarious.
Like, sir, you're not funny. What are you saying, man? Internet Exploder. Yeah, well, good stuff. What do you want to talk about here?
Ooh, video games. In video game news, not that much has happened this last month. Do you know what E3 is? You know what E3 is.
I don't watch it a lot, but I'm aware of what it is, yeah.
I don't even know what E3 stands for. I think it's like Electronic 3 or something. Sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it got cancelled. Like, not cancelled in the like social media sense. It got like put off. They just like...
They're just not doing it at all?
I don't think they're doing it this year. But
Xbox had their own thing, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure like a whole bunch of
So yeah, PlayStation.
conferences were held online that were called not E3.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Real clever thought.
That's genius.
Yeah. So a few games have come out. One's called The Quarry. That's been big lately.
Sure.
And basically it's like one of those choose your own adventure sort of.
Oh.
Like, so you it's like a story-based game. It's like a drama horror story-based game.
What platform?
It's on, I think it's on PC. I'm not sure everything that it's on. But
Xbox game.
The basic premise is that you're stuck on like a campsite and there's like monsters and stuff and you've got to like choose the right options to survive. Diablo Immortal came out on mobile, and it was actually like really a big deal to a lot of people.
What is it?
Do you know the Diablo games?
I know there's Diablo.
Diablo. They're like
I haven't played
RPGs.
them before. I haven't played them before.
I haven't either.
Oh, okay.
But people came to the Blizzard Con.
Sure.
And Blizzard were like, oh, we're gonna release a new Diablo game. And everyone like was so excited.
Oh, really?
Like finally Diablo 4.
Yeah.
And then they're like, it's gonna be a mobile game, guys.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, stuff you,
dude,
Blizzard, you guys suck.
That's like, can we talk about GTA for a minute?
Sure.
Do you play GTA?
I have not played it in a while.
Right. Well, that's like them renewing their online stuff instead of them actually releasing GTA 6.
Oh,
Last
so
year,
they just renewed it.
Well, they haven't yeah, they just renew like the content for GTA V online, GTA 5 online. But like GTA 6, last year they said we're 6 years from announcing it.
6 years.
GTA 5 came out in 2013.
Yeah, it's been 9 years.
It's been 9 years, and they're making bank from it to this day. Just releasing. I don't think they want to release GTA 6.
Wow.
Because why kill off a game was so ahead of its time? I'm mad, bro. Like, I'm mad at how good a game GTA 5 was, and that I want an even better one now.
Yeah, and the fact that they're not releasing anything.
And they're not releasing.
Like, oh, man.
Red Dead Redemption is really good, but it's just not. It doesn't have the online community like GTA, but the
Is
story.
there an online for Red Dead?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh. It's just not as. I mean, I haven't played it as much, so maybe that's what it is, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, Red Dead, great game.
Yeah. There's a lot of politics stuff that I wrote down, but I don't know if I want to talk about this stuff. It's so
quite
much.
a bit, and it's all so dark.
South Korea, we're going, hey, North Korea launched 8 short-range ballistic missiles.
Hey.
And the Japanese Prime Minister, I assume before
this was before he passed away, I'm guessing.
Assassinated.
June 5th. Yeah, no, he passed away 5th. Like last week. This week.
Okay, yeah.
This week.
So he was like, hey, that's a violation of the UN resolutions.
Sure.
Yeah.
There
was a drone that crashed into an oil refinery in Russia.
Okay.
And they're not sure if it was an attack or if it was just like an accident.
I've been known to drop many drones in my life.
Yeah, as we all do. Many people.
Never in someone's ocean, though.
No, never in someone's oil refinery.
Oh, is it oil refinery?
Yeah.
Oh.
It caused like a fiery explosion, and Ukraine hasn't really said, "Hey, that was us" or anything like that. So, no one was hurt.
Sure.
But the refinery has stopped doing their stuff, understandably.
Is that a job in the military? You fly a drone into enemy airspace?
I don't know. Maybe like I think it's because there's such a lack of clarity on like where the drone was from,
are doing or whatever.
But like it was in Russian. It seems like it was in Russian airspace when it launched.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, it got past like Russian air defenses, which is kind of a red flag for them. They'd probably be crying. But yeah, some pretty dark stuff.
Lots happened.
But on the bright side, last episode we were talking about that mass shooting that happened, the school shooting. And on the 25th of June, Joe Biden signed a gun control bill into law, and it had like bipartisan support. Like both parties were like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay.
So it basically will tighten the control on people who are under the age of 21. So they have to have a background check. They put $15 billion towards mental health programs. It was a bit vague, but it said school security improvements, whatever that means. Yeah. Which is probably a good thing. And there's been funding that's trying to persuade states, because each state has its own law, to pass like red flag laws that basically will take away firearms from individuals who can be like who have been assessed as a potential threat. And yeah, this is the first time in a long time that they've had reform that's had like such support from both sides, which is like, hey, like people might not agree on gun control on the as a whole, and like the way that Australia does it, but like it sounds like that's a step in the right direction, because it means that
we'll see how it goes. Yeah, like America's not Australia, so they'll have to figure out their own thing, but we'll see how that goes.
But that's I saw an article that said that Biden is okay after falling off his bike.
Man, this man was riding his bike
on the 18th of June
down the park, minding his own business.
There's such
they bombard him with cameras, and then falls off his bike. Then they start to laugh at him. Like, are you okay? Are you okay? You got in my face with all the cameras. Let me do that to you.
It's just so like
I thought it was funny.
There's such a difference. So
the way this guy fell off his bike.
Oh, did you see?
I saw the video.
Oh, I didn't see the video.
He was trying to stop and say hi to all the everybody was there with cameras, and it was like reporters and stuff. So he jumps off the bike. Sorry, he slows down. He's coming in to greet people like, hi, I'm Joe. Yeah, hi. He's stopped at this point, or rather it's like, when someone's moving so slow, you don't know if they've stopped or if they're stopping. And then as he proceeds to put one leg on the ground, that just didn't happen. So he tumbles over.
Didn't go on the ground.
Oh no, he went on the ground. His whole body went on the ground, man. Like he just fell.
My guy.
I thought it was hilarious. I know there's a punishment waiting for me for laughing.
Such a difference in things though. Like
man fell off a bike.
8 days later, he was passing a law
this
about
man
gun control.
Fell off
he just fell off his bike, and they reported. They're like, "Yeah, that's news." That's fun.
That's the guy.
Yeah, very interesting. Moving on to, we could talk about Australia.
We talked about Australia. We talk about movies and TV.
Did you know
what
that McDonald's announced, and they currently have Szechuan sauce
and
Cajun sauce.
Is that how you say that?
Yeah, that's how you say it. So, all the Rick and Morty fans are like really, really excited.
Sure.
Because one of the episodes of Rick and Morty, one of the like season opens, was like him in this dreamscape, talking to this guy, and they're trying to like find out they're trying to find out how to get this rocket fuel that's like really good that he only knows the recipe to. And they're like, oh, like what's your key memory and stuff like that, and he's like, oh, my favorite key memory is when they had the Szechuan sauce at McDonald's, and it was a limited edition Mulan Szechuan sauce. And then like after that episode, fans would like literally show up to McDonald's, jump on the counter and be like, I'm Pickle Rick, give me my Szechuan sauce.
Dude, I've never understood that show. I will never understand it, and that's the effect it has on people. I have a mate who loves that thing, man. He loves that show. Every week, are they still going now? Is there still episodes coming out?
It's not. I don't think it's.
Whatever.
New season's coming
out, it's just like, if I hear one more Rick and Morty reference, I don't watch the show. It's not my type of humor. I don't watch it and go, oh, that's really entertaining. Like, I never watched Family Guy. That just didn't look like something that was funny to me. And so, like, Seeing Rick and Morty. Again, I'm not backing it up. Comment section. Don't flame me.
go hate on it.
I just don't understand, bro. All this stuff. It's just an old guy, young dude talking in crazy voice.
I think it's probably more entertaining than like your Family Guys and your. I don't know. Like it's very quirky and goofy, and but people take it so seriously, and they're like, "Oh, you have to have a really high IQ to understand Rick and Morty," and like all this stupid stuff. And it's just like, dude, you don't.
Good for them.
You don't get it. Like I was talking to my brother about it. And he's like, it irks my soul that like people think of Rick as like a good guy, because the point of the show is that this science genius guy is just a terrible person and a bad influence on his grandson.
I'll take your word for it.
Sort of like Butcher in The Boys.
I want to talk about The Boys, man. I've been waiting for this all the time. All right, so
let's move on to.
If you've been regularly tuning in, I butchered that word. Regularly
you butchered it.
Tuning in. I see what you've done. The Boys.
His accent wasn't really on point, but it's Carl Urban. We love him.
He's great.
It doesn't need to be believable. He commits to it.
Every single episode this season was fire. Oh, man. I think the peak was
fire
Herogasm.
It burns holes in your eyes with how disturbing and messed up it is.
Sorry. It is an awful show that I don't recommend you watch. But from a scientific observation perspective, we could call ourselves scientists.
Scientists, yeah.
What TV show scientists?
We are
connoisseurs
TV
in that.
Connoisseurs. It's like getting the whiskey and swirling it around, and then taking a sniff of the scent of that burning. I know this is an experience that you.
As someone who doesn't drink, I'll take your word for it. You swirl the.
You swirl it and then you smell it
with
and
the
then
oak
you
and the
put a little bit of it on your tongue and you go, ooh, there's a hint of lavender and a hint of berry, and they say to
lavender
you, there's none
whiskey.
of that in this. It's whiskey. It was put in a barrel.
Yeah, old wood. Anyway,
30 years or whatever. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if we're giving spoiler. I'm giving spoiler. I don't care anymore.
Let's just go straight up spoilers.
So we start off and it builds up and blah blah blah.
Up. Yeah.
They've actually kind of like delved off from the diverted from the comics.
Off the comics, yeah.
Quite a bit.
Gone way off.
But they've like it's character parallels, it's story parallels, but they've kind of just like reinserted them into different areas. For instance, Stillwell. James Stillwell is Madison Stillwell's father.
Oh, yeah.
In the comics, James Stillwell is not afraid of Homelander. He's not afraid of any of the soups.
He's like a Stan
He's
Edgar.
a stoic. Yeah. He is Stan Edgar. So they flipped that. Noir is a clone of Homelander. Butcher is like irredeemable.
Yeah.
But I like the direction they're taking it, because there's not a lot in the writing for in terms of like what's been written for the boys.
Yeah, they've sort of flipped Butcher in his head and made him into, like, I haven't read any of the comics, but they've sort of made him like really sort of, you don't like him and you're like,
nah,
what is wrong with this guy? This guy's like rude and
but you're
mean
willing to accept him as, he's like a necessary evil.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, his dad, like he's become his dad, and he's like realizing that he needs to not.
Yes.
And he sees like his little brother in Huey and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, okay, like
you understand now.
I don't like the guy, but I understand.
Yeah.
Even Homelander, like they've totally made it so that you can be like, you're not gonna be like he's a good guy, but it's like, I understand why he's so messed up and why he's just like,
dude,
so depraved.
Let me ask you something. Do you think him and Ryan are gonna have a good relationship? How are they gonna write that next season?
I don't know. I think.
Yeah, no. Tell me.
I think. Have you seen Brightburn?
No, I haven't seen Brightburn.
It's basically evil Superman child. Like, it's a horror movie.
Oh, okay.
It's a horror movie where, like, it's one of those horror movies, it's directed by James Gunn, that the villain wins.
no.
And so basically this kid lands, there's a couple praying for kids and they can't have kids and they see the doctor, and then this kid lands in a spaceship and they're like, oh my gosh, our prayers have been answered.
Yeah,
and they
like
raise
Superman.
him as like Superman.
Yeah.
They raise him as a good Christian kid.
Come on.
But one day this ship that he came in that they've locked under the barn activates, and he starts getting like secret messages in alien language, and he like draws this weird symbol, and then he has like these really messed up like ideas of just what he
I'm
should
watching
do
this
with
movie.
himself, and then like his dad's like, oh yeah, you should like give in to your desires and stuff. He's like, oh okay, and then
What?
and
What is
then
this
chaos
movie?
ensues.
Bright Star?
Brightburn
Brightburn.
on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I don't. I guess I've kind of spoiled it, but
You've told
it's
me
still
everything.
worth
Doesn't matter. I'm
watching.
gonna watch it, man.
It's still very much worth watching. But like the smile that he had at the end, that Ryan had at the end, reminds me of that kid from Brightburn, because he's like this kid who thinks that everything needs to be good,
Yep.
and then someone has shown him actually you can be like terrible.
Oh, that
Just
is
like how Homelander just lasered that guy who said, screw you, fascist.
that is just
Yeah.
yo. I'm seeing this now. That
It's-
looks dark, man.
Yeah. And at the end of it, there's some really crazy stuff, and I really hope that they release a sequel to it, because I'm really
2019.
excited to see what James Gunn does with it, because it's like just
It
completely...
was that engaging, huh?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna watch this now. Well, it sounds like, you know what it is. I'm excited because the new space that's being pioneered now is this whole anti-hero thing.
Anti-hero, yeah.
The whole thing of the hero is, I don't think it's dead, but I think you got to remix this stuff a little bit.
Yeah, like even the whole villain thing, like they're making their villains more
Yeah.
understandable.
You
and
gotta like
oh,
'em a
yeah,
little bit.
Wait, what if? But the good guy actually
Yeah.
had the bad guy actually had a good point.
Exactly.
What?
Killmonger. Because you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, the whole, they're big, they're bad, they're ugly.
Oh yeah,
They don't talk. They just said
they
like
have
2
an
words.
Evil plan.
Yeah.
They're
it's
going
like,
to destroy everything
take over
for
the
no
world.
reason.
It's like, bro, come on, man.
Mm.
You know Superman's just going to spank you. But then
Yeah.
you introduce a complex dude like Homelander,
Yeah.
who is just the worst. But then you're like, oh, but he didn't have a dad. And
Didn't have
even
a
if
dad,
he
didn't have
knew
a
his
mom,
dad,
he was made in a tube.
made in a tube.
Yeah.
But he was, even if he knew his dad, he probably wouldn't have turned out great. 'Cause he
No.
knew his dad.
His dad's a
His
yeah,
dad's not
whole
great.
other story.
Soldier Boy.
The fact that he went up to him and said the exact same thing that his own
Bro.
father said to him.
You were
"Oh,
out
you
here.
are weak," and they're like, "What?"
You saw
Oh, mate.
Homelander like breaking down. Like, yo.
Yeah, because it sounded like you could see like the joy and the hope in his eyes, where
Yeah.
he like comes up to him and he's like, "Oh, I wish I could have raised you," and he's like, "Yeah, I wish
Yep.
that too." And then it's like, because you're like,
Hey.
you're just like a weak.
Jeez. Puts his hand on the shoulder like he
Weakling.
sons him. He's like, "Cause you're just weak." And I can't do a middle-aged white man voice. Give me a shot. Give me a second. Because you are weak.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because, you're a pansy. He uses a different word.
He
other
used a
than
different
pansy.
word. You're a pansy. Yeah, that's
You're
a
a
good one.
pansy. Dude, but no, this show is great.
What?
By far, right now, this is. Do I want to say it's my favorite show? Bridgerton's pretty good. It's not like my favorite, but it usually carries me over quite well.
I'm still yet to watch it.
Stop.
Yeah.
You ever watched Bridgerton? What's
No,
happening,
I've
man?
watched like one bit of an episode. I just haven't had. There's so many shows to get to.
There's
so many movies.
excuses, man. Comment section, lay on this guy. He hasn't watched Bridgerton. He doesn't know what's going. I could have been spoiling it this entire time, and I wouldn't
Oh,
know.
Esther already spoiled it for me.
Yo, man, this.
She already told me what the end was. I was like, okay, cool.
But it
Okay.
doesn't. But it doesn't make sense to you.
No, it doesn't. I have no idea who Duke, whatever his name is.
Yeah, right. Oh,
Yeah, but
Duke.
yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah,
boys,
yeah.
man.
Great show.
Great show.
Great show.
Like horrible.
Awful
Horrible
show.
to watch. Like
Awful show.
it's very upsetting.
Yep.
And if you get upset easily by like
Don't touch
blood
it.
and gore and
Don't touch it. Yeah, yeah.
explicit content, Definitely don't watch it. But it's very
10 years ago, how do you
oh,
think
mate.
people react to Homelander?
Dude,
Also,
10 years ago,
The Boys.
this show would not be allowed to air.
You're not allowed to
Like
put
the
this
fact that it's on Amazon Prime is the only reason that it's even
Yeah.
able to be on anything.
I wonder if they have more shows like this. Like I know I got recommendations for one called The Tick,
Yeah, I've heard The Tick is good.
American Gods, but that
I've heard
inside, I don't know how to say it, man. It's an interesting show visually, but
right.
I think I'm gonna stop watching it.
Have you been watching?
I've watched
Gods?
the entire thing, and I was just like, you know what? If a new season comes out, I'm just not going to watch it. It's dark, man.
Yeah,
But it's some good
I've
writing.
seen a few little bits of it.
Yeah.
Pieces.
But no, man. This year for movies, have you watched Thor?
I've watched Thor 4.
How'd you find
Love
it?
and Thunder.
I didn't love it, but I thought it was good.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was nice. I thought
Yeah.
it was good, but I didn't think it was one that you can enjoy when you really think about what's going on.
No.
It felt weirdly paced. I heard someone like reviewing it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it."
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, like it feels flat. It feels like people talking in a room and then action sequence."
You know what this felt like?
COVID.
It felt like it should have made sense of every other show and movie that's taking place in Phase 4. I thought I'd walked into the cinema and I just thought this will make everything make sense, and it just didn't.
It did. It had nothing
It had
to
nothing.
do with anything.
I left there and I was
was
like,
its
all
own
right,
thing.
cool. Like we've been introduced to these new characters. I don't think the characters were bad, nor do I think the acting was bad. I think we just needed more time for them to get, for us to get to know
it was
them.
fairly short. Like
2
even though it was
hours.
2 hours, it was fairly short for a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But like it felt like a Zoom meeting.
We're used to like the 3-hour movies now. Like we can
Yeah.
handle those.
Yeah.
The Snyder Cut, I think that was really because that was a
4
4-hour
hours, yeah.
movie. Like we can handle this now. It's like, all right, 2 hours intermission, 2 hours again or something. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hopeful because Phase 4 is not looking good. I don't care anymore just because when we have shows like The Boys to get us through, I'm like, you know what? This sort of, dare I say, the MCU has become my secondary priority in terms of like movies and stuff that I watch.
I think so as well.
They're not big time like they were before.
They're not really hitting the same
mark.
The same mark.
They're
Yeah.
not there.
It felt a bit lackluster. It felt like just like there wasn't enough of anything. Like I wanted more gore.
Yeah. Oh,
Not blood and gore, but Gore the character.
Yeah, we want to get to know him, and
wanted to see him like fight a god.
it was 2 minutes or maybe a little bit more from when we see him be who he is to him completely transform into the God Butcher. It's like I would have liked to get to know
that
him.
god that he like spoke to.
Yeah.
Was very caricature-y, like, haha, well, I'm this and that.
You
and
don't
like,
meet those type. He doesn't exist. Like in terms of
he's
like,
oh, I just killed the guy who had the necro sword. You better not pick it up.
yeah,
Or
I'm like,
and kill me. You better not do that.
I wonder what I'm gonna do now. It's like,
Sorry,
bro,
I hopefully that's not spoilers. It's the first scene of the movie.
you'll watch it. I think you will like it enough, but it's not. It's not Ragnarok.
No, it's not Ragnarok.
I
I think they overused Korg a bit.
They overuse a little bit too much comedy for my liking in this one. Because Ragnarok was funny, but you can still feel that intensity.
Yeah, you could feel the stakes, and it was like, oh, Thor's like in another place and his planet's in danger and stuff. Whereas this one was like, I guess all the gods are gonna die or something. Maybe
There's a
Do
guy.
we really like the gods?
Yeah,
They're a bit
I don't know
rude.
them. They all sound bad, and if they're anything like this guy,
All the ones that we've met so far are pretty rude,
It's like,
except for that one that died that we didn't get to meet.
Yeah, like why do you want them to be alive? And you know what I mean? Like, it would have just been nice if there was a bit more.
Because Thor was like, "Oh, this god's the nicest god I know," and I was like, "Well,
Just dead now.
do you have to tell us that, or can we actually like
We
meet
can see
him so
him.
that we can like determine that for
But
ourselves?"
hey, look, that's what budget allowed. Budget, you know, budget is strong. Budget determines
true.
everything. It's the difference between you buying
delayed a
Smith
lot as
chips and
Red Rock Deli.
home brand Red Rock Deli, sour cream in that,
And then the home brand.
and then home brand.
Yeah, you have those 3 levels, I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, bro.
That
I
was
don't know if there's anything
interesting.
else you want to talk about here.
What movies have you sort of had a look at? So, or shows. So I've written down a whole bunch of things.
Let me
Honourable
open it.
mention, Chip and Dale. I really
Okay.
enjoyed that.
Sure.
Have you seen it?
Uh-uh.
It's a fun movie. I think it's worth watching.
Okay.
I haven't watched Lightyear, but I haven't heard very good things about it.
Yep.
Apparently, it's like one of those movies that's like it's a nice movie, but apparently it's meant to be the movie that Andy watched from Toy Story that made him buy the Buzz Lightyear figure. And I've heard like from people who have kids say like, oh, like my kid watched it and he didn't talk about it after at all.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I gotta say this lightly because the people, I
Yeah.
have zilch,
Zero.
none, zip,
Yeah.
nada interest in ever watching Toy Story in my
Oh,
life.
you've never watched Toy Story?
I never touched it. I know Andy, I know Buzz, I know Woody.
Yeah.
Potato
You probably need to
Man.
know.
Potato,
Yeah.
you know him.
Potato. Yeah, Mr. Potato.
I've seen
Head.
clips on YouTube. It doesn't.
Yep. Not interesting. Yeah.
It was
I'm
never
with
there in
you.
Africa. It was never sold to us. I was like,
Yeah,
when I
fair.
came here, I was like, look at these toys.
There's
speaking.
no Tanzanian fans of
No.
Toy Story.
Now the Lion
You
King,
know,
my
Lion King,
goodness, guys, that's a goated movie. Not goated. That is the goat movie.
The
I was
goat, yeah.
watching that movie the other day, man. Trying to explain it to my nephews, Ian and Ivan.
I don't remember watching it. I watched it as a kid, I'm pretty sure, but I just like
Wait,
I know all the story beats, but I haven't
what?
I haven't rewatched it.
Stop
I
right
think last time I
there.
tried to rewatch I fell asleep.
No, man. What? Hold up. You haven't rewatched The Lion King?
Like I feel like I've seen like the start and I've seen the end a number of times.
Oh, this
but
is
I haven't
awful, man.
and I've seen the middle, but like at different times. So it's like, oh yeah, like there's the circle of life at the start, and maybe he goes into some bones, and then maybe he runs away, and then he meets Pumbaa and the other one,
This is not good.
and then he meets Nala, and he's like, hey, I love you or something, and then his dad shows up in the clouds. And then, wait, do they love each other or are they just
They've
friends?
been loving
I
each
don't
other.
know.
They didn't know
Yeah.
this was a whole thing about getting
Yeah.
them together from the start.
Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, I'm gonna like usurp my uncle or something, and it's Hamlet.
It is Hamlet,
Yep.
but it's better. Hamlet is a 4-hour bunch of
4-hour
soliloquies to be
Yeah.
or not. No, Simba puts it in song.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Hakuna
no,
Matata.
Yeah. Hakuna Matata. I know all the beats and I know like a
This is
number of the
ridiculous.
songs.
This is down
But
to my
it's
mood,
just like-
bro.
I don't think I've sat down and watched the entirety of The Lion King in like the whole in its entirety and like absorbed all of it and let it wash over me.
Bro, no, do you know how insane this sounds to me? If there's one movie that's changed my life,
Yeah.
I mean that literally.
It's Toy Story.
Nah, it's a Toy Story. Yeah. And then you're saying you haven't even like watched it properly. That is so insane to me. Let me explain something to you. The Lion King is so much of the most watched movie I've ever had. Back when I used to watch it, we had the tapes. Remember them VCR tapes?
Yeah.
That was bought. I don't know how many times, multiple times. Not because we needed new ones, because the old ones were scratched out. The film would break.
The film would break.
So we buy a new one. Like, Mom, this
Wow.
isn't working anymore. Buy
Mom,
a new
get
one.
New copy of.
We bought a new VCR player. When the VCR died, we went to DVD. I've listened to the audio of this movie.
Yeah, so like, fair
Yeah.
enough. You know what movie changed my life?
Yeah, tell me.
The movie Morbius. It was the greatest movie ever. It was a morbid good time.
Yeah,
Anyway,
like, you're tired. I'm tired. We're done.
Oh, mate.
Let us know in the comments if you want us to do a
yeah.
watch along of these movies.
Let us know.
Luke
what you
hasn't
think
watched
about
The Lion
Toy
King.
Story and The Lion King.
Jeez.
To Disney.
Watch along is coming.
No, Toy Story wasn't a Disney. It was a Pixar. But then Pixar became part of Disney after that.
Walt Disney Pixar.
So, some cool stuff that's happened. Minions came out a few weeks ago, and there's been a lot of memes about that. People dressing up in suits and showing up.
Yeah, I won't watch.
There was a Jurassic World movie that came out that I didn't watch, and there was an Elvis movie that's apparently pretty good.
I'm glad I won't watch that either.
There was also a Netflix movie called The Man from Toronto, which had, I believe, Woody Harrelson and Kevin Hart, and I watched the back end of it with Esther, because she was watching it, and I was like, "What's this?" And she's like, "It's The Man from Toronto," and I was like, "Okay, that sounds cool."
That sounds like how she'd say it as well.
Yeah, and it was definitely about a man
from Toronto
Canada, who called himself the Man from Toronto. It seemed like it was pretty fun.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson sounds like the guy that would play that role.
Play a good man from Toronto.
Yeah.
Have you seen Only Murders in the Building? Season 2. Oh, it's about have you seen season 1 of it?
I don't know what Only Murders in the Building is.
So it's on Disney Plus Star.
Oh, okay. I
think it's on Hulu in America. And it's basically about Selena Gomez, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. They start a podcast about the murders that are happening. It's a true crime podcast.
You told me to watch this.
Yes.
Last year.
I did.
I think.
It's good. It's about stuff happening in a building that they all live in. And then they're like, hey, let's solve a murder. And then they solve a murder.
Through the podcast.
Yeah, well, they record a podcast as they're going each day or each week. I'm not sure.
The power of podcasts.
Yeah, and it's a live as you go solve a murder, and yeah, it's a fun show.
That's interesting.
Miss Marvel, have you seen Umbrella Academy?
I started watching it the other day. I want to like it more, but each time I'm just like,
You started season 1, or
yeah, I'm like 4 episodes in, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to get into at the start because it starts off really slow. But once you get towards season 2's better.
You reckon?
Yeah, it starts off straight away, and you're like,
episode
cool.
5. I stopped midway of episode 5.
Yeah.
Good show. I think it's just a bit. It's slower than I would like it to be.
Yeah, the pace.
It's a lot more abstract. It's out there, man, but it's not bad. It'll just take me time because I'm not connected to any of the characters right now.
Yeah, no, it took me, I didn't connect to them until literally the finale, and I was like, oh, this is a good show, actually.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm finding Miss Marvel's like that. I'm watching that now, and I'm like, you know what?
You liking it?
Yeah, not a bad show. I wasn't trying to give it. I didn't like it because I thought, oh man, it's a high school movie. So it's, you come to an age where you're like, I don't even enjoy high school movies.
Yeah, but it's like they completely cut off from that.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's good so far. I think they're in Pakistan still.
Yeah, I'm yet to watch the last few episodes. I haven't watched the first few.
Yeah.
Where it just diverts off, and I'm like, oh, this isn't a teen drama.
Yeah, no, it got better. It got better, and I think it's still not the greatest of shows, but that's my opinion,
Yeah, I feel like Marvel's just sort of dropping off, and there was a lot of stuff in the news about sort of poor working conditions in the Marvel VFX stuff. Like they were saying that they had just so many changes, and it's like, oh, we're gonna make She-Hulk, and she's gonna be regular size, and they're like, actually, can you make her big and stuff?
She's my favorite. Female superhero. They did it wrong.
Yeah, she it looked good when they first had the teaser where it was just you could see her leg.
Yeah, the calf
sort of panned up, and then it was like, oh, she's green and stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It wasn't bad. I don't know if it looked, because when you see the Hulk, that looks real. Yeah. Almost like
it's in the shot. Yeah.
Exactly, but the She-Hulk one, the more you watch it, you're like, oh, is
she from The Sims or something?
Yeah, this is not great. This
Are you
is
sure
some
you didn't record this in The Sims 4?
ABC3 looking. Yeah.
ABC3
TV show.
Yeah.
This is not good. But I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm hoping I'm hoping, because my two favorite female superheroes, She-Hulk and Wonder Woman, I'm hoping they do shows about them. Obviously, DC, Marvel, but I'd like to see shows about them. I feel like they have, what do you call it? Like their character arcs would be good to explore.
Yes.
Because we've seen the Batmans and the Supermans and all that.
Yeah, apparently Superman and Lois is a good one to get into.
Is that CW?
Binge. Yeah, it's...
I vowed to never watch another CW show in my life.
I actually don't think it's necessarily CW.
Oh?
I think it... Or maybe it is. I'm not sure.
Because he's Supergirl's cousin, isn't he? Like in the CW.
Oh, maybe.
I think
possible.
Yeah, I think it's
just
CW.
Superman. Like it's Kal-El. It's Clark Kent, like the same guy, but yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't watched it, but it's on good old Binge.
Yeah, I got rid of Binge the other day.
Yeah, it's I don't know about all these streaming services.
Paramount Plus instead, man.
Oh, maybe it has. Maybe they have it on there as well.
Really?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They have a lot of DC properties on both.
Yeah,
which is
that's
interesting.
1883.
Yeah. Don't worry about the train strikes and stuff. There was a whole bunch of strikes in Australia, which kind of sucked. But I wanted to do a review of this quarter. So this quarter we've had a lot of stuff.
All the stuff we said before.
Yes.
And
all
then
the stuff we had said before.
The highlights were.
So episode 2 was about Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Things like the Batman, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, Moon Knight.
We talked about Obi-Wan Kenobi. We mentioned that Stranger Things had come out. There was a result for Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Jacob loves that show.
Yeah, Stranger Things. I'm trying to catch up on season 3 because I haven't watched it.
Oh, do you watch it as well?
Yeah.
There you go.
And we had a change of Prime Minister in Australia. We went to Vivid, that sort of stuff. So we wanted to go and like talk about what our highlights are for the last 3 months.
Sure.
And then we're going to rate our quarter fashionably. I don't know. In the style of it being a quarterly report, we're going to rate it out of how many quarters we rate. So it's like I rate this 4 quarters
out of 4.
Out of 4, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah, let's hit me with it. Yeah. Oh, geez, you started with one of my. I don't call nobody a childhood hero, but one of my the guys I really liked watching. William Smith.
William Smith and his
cousin
with Mr. I almost said Mr. Hart. What am I talking about? Mr. Rock. Mr. Rock, not to be completely confused with The Rock or his often co-star, Mr. Kevin Hart.
Correct.
Oh gosh, what am I doing?
How would you rate? Okay, so are we rating his quarter?
Oh no. I sort of wrote down a few things that we could look at as,
hit me
highlights.
Hit me with it.
So some of the things that happened this. Do you know? This quarter there was a song that sort of became very popular in the TikTok sphere.
That I don't know how else to say it. It's like that English brother.
Yes, the British man who says, "My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I'd like to see you wiggle wiggle for sure. Want to see me dribble dribble, you know." Yeah, that one.
That's great.
The Weird Weekends.
I know which one you're talking about.
That's the one.
Yeah. Did that come out this quarter, did it?
That was this quarter, and that's been very popular for people.
That just feels like it's been around for a long time.
It does. It might have been around for a while. I'm not too sure. Yeah. But yeah, that's been a big thing.
I'm glad.
There was the show Obi-Wan Kenobi that you didn't watch.
I've never watched it.
Most of. There were some movies. I'm yet to finish because I've got to watch it with Esther and she refuses to watch it with me.
Yeah, man.
Because
Black people
she was watching like the last few minutes of the second last episode and she was like I was watching it and she watched it over my shoulder and she was like, "Oh, like who's that? What's that? What's going on there?" And I was like, "It's a thing." Oh, do you need to fix something?
Nah, I'll hold it. It's all good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to say it. Star Wars, dude, space battles, it's hit or miss, isn't it? Because you could have Endgame, you can have Infinity War,
Yeah.
or you could have. I don't
Space
know.
opera.
I don't watch space battle.
Well, like, yeah, I think the prequels are all about politics and really confusing.
Okay.
Because they're like the separatists and the I don't know.
I don't understand.
All this random like jargon. It's like, okay,
I guarantee you, I will never watch it in my life.
Show me a guy with a laser sword chopping someone in half. You know?
That seems cool.
Those bits they don't chop people in half because it's apparently according to George Lucas, Star Wars has always been for kids.
Stop.
The movie
with them ugly creatures they putting out on screen.
Oh mate, I don't understand. I don't know if it was George Lucas, but someone said it.
Put
And they're
my
like,
nephews
Star Wars
in
always been
cardiac
for
arrest.
kids. So in Obi-Wan Kenobi, there's a stormtrooper. They're like the soldier man. You know the white soldiers. They're covered in like white armor.
Yeah. Look like racers and F1 drivers.
Yeah. And there's one. I don't remember how he got launched, but he got launched in the air, and he falls down onto like this laser gate, and he gets chopped in half.
Dude,
Star Wars has always been for kids.
That's some of the darkest stuff I've ever heard, man.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, this quarter there was a few movies about the multiverse, such as our Multiverse of Madness and Everything Everywhere All at Once. There was another Marvel movie and a whole bunch of Marvel shows. We had The Boys season 3. I won't count that last one as this quarter because that counts as sort of the next quarter. And there was Top Gun, the Top Gun movie that came out.
Still haven't watched it.
There was the Depp v. Heard thing. There was Will Smith, Chris Rock. Yeah, a lot of stuff happened. But what do you feel like is like the standout thing this quarter?
By far, and I'll be honest, guys, I was one of those people that was like, I don't want to get into the personal lives of
famous people. Yeah.
My goodness. Depp versus Heard.
Yeah.
Some entertaining stuff.
Mate.
That was just entertaining from the beginning. And then I hear, Depp said that he'll never look Amber Heard in the eye ever again. No.
Oh, I never heard that part.
He told her that, so this is Depp telling Miss Heard, you will never see my eyes again. Oh. So, yo, that's some dark
intense
stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's what I just kept watching in the in the trials. I was like, did she see the eyes? Did she see the eyes? No, like never. Always had his sunglasses, was never looking in her direction. She starts crying. My dog stepped on a bee.
Oh,
have you seen that?
The what?
My dog stepped on a bee.
Oh my, yeah, I've seen that. Man. Yeah.
that whole thing, I didn't understand it at first. Then the TikTok generation, man, you see that every single day.
Yeah, the TikTok generation, I think, like clips everything. There is a clip. If it happened and it was recorded and it was on the internet, there will be a clip of it the next day. Like if it's a lawsuit, if it's something
from a movie,
if someone's in a sport, in a movie, if it's anything, if it's a thing, it's going to be on a clip on the internet. Don't go onto YouTube and look at any like clips because like if you've got like a movie that you want to watch and you're like, I don't want any spoilers. When Spider-Man No Way Home came out, I was like, I was G'd up. I was ready to watch that movie. And then I go on YouTube for 1 second and it's like this scene comes up. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire
in
like cracking Andrew Garfield cracks Tobey Maguire's back. And I was like, is this like a fan edit?
Yeah,
and I clicked on it and I was like, oh no.
This is
the real thing. Someone filmed it and clipped it.
My stuff is because my content is just diverse. So most of the stuff I get on my feed is sports. Like as a matter of fact, 90% of it is like it's sports related. Like I don't mean to say that to sound all like it's mostly just like Undisputed or First Take or this is Premier League highlights from this week or NFL highlights. So I never see that, but a bunch of the TikToks are like usually just some of the corniest stuff or people spoiling everything.
The
but
reels that come up on your Instagram.
yeah, but where I really found these reels was like when I was on YouTube and I was following up on
The shorts and stuff.
yeah, YouTube Shorts, and then I was like, I typed in Johnny Depp's lawyer, and then how she, Miss Velasquez, I think it is, and how she just took Amber Heard to town. She was just everything. It's like Miss Heard. That wasn't my question. That was amazing. So yeah, I rate that. Was supposed to rate that. I'm sorry, that was a very long way to say. I rate that.
Oh, you rate the quarter, or
I'm gonna rate the quarter.
Oh yeah.
3.5 quarters out of 4. I'll say it's all. No. Let me take that back. No. So I'm sticking with that. 3 out of 4. Yeah, we're going. We'll go 3.5. We'll go 7/8.
Yeah. Cool.
What'd you rate?
Wait, you rate that's what you rate the quarter?
That's what I rate that.
Oh, the Depp v. Heard situation. Heard part. Yeah.
But this quarter itself, like, am I supposed to give you the rating for the quarter itself?
Well, I guess I'll give you my highlight.
You tell me.
I think out of everything, it's a tough choice between The Boys season 3 and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
You really like this movie.
It was a great movie. I feel like just because it was more recent, it's more recent in my brain.
The Boys.
I'm gonna. Actually no, that finale was kind of sad. It didn't like hit everything, whereas I feel like Everything Everywhere All at Once was almost a perfect movie.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to go with Everything Everywhere All at Once because it was just a masterpiece of cinema, and like it was a bit artsy, but it was like down to earth enough for you to watch it and not be like a film critic and be like, oh, this is a good movie. Like, this is great cinema. So I think I rate that, 4 out of 4 quarters.
Stop. Everything together, all at what is it?
Everything, Everywhere, all at once.
You rate that 4 out of 4 quarters.
Yep.
Are you saying I'm gonna watch this? 1917 is the best movie I've seen in the last 5 years. I'm gonna watch this and say it's better than 1917.
Maybe.
Stop.
I don't know.
Impossible.
I guess it depends how you take it.
La La Land, is it better than La La Land?
I haven't seen La La Land, but I think it's better than La La Land. It probably is.
La La Land is a good movie. The music made the movie.
On the topic of like shorts, all the shorts that come up from me are like, I've got one that says Chase Crawford reveals how he ate the octopus in The Boys.
Oh my gosh, man, that wasn't real.
But I get all these weird, like look at this one, with great power comes, and then it's just
the ability to be a right.
Billy.
Yep.
The absolute certainty that you'll turn into a right something.
Yeah, something else. That's interesting. You get those short. Yeah, no, like we're just literally now talking about our YouTube content. But yeah, you see, it's like Army vet, Shaquille O'Neal, bicycle, NBA. Wow. Okay, now I have a Marvel thing. Now talked about Miss Marvel. Now I'm seeing Miss Marvel.
Right.
These conspiracies go deep.
That's deep, man.
But so what did you rate? You said 4 out of 4.
4 out of 4, yeah. The overall, how would you rate this quarter of the year?
This quarter of the year was good, man. Like I know there was a lot of everything, but I can't complain. Life was good.
Almost like everything was everywhere all at once.
Don't nobody know your movie, bro.
Sorry.
Nobody's watched everything together. I don't know the name.
Yeah.
But
sorry, you were saying. Yeah.
No, I was just saying.
You liked it.
I think I would. There's not much bad for me to say. This quarter was good. I will also give it a 3.5 out of 4. I'm a bucket list guy now. I don't do the New Year's
bucket
resolution.
list guy, right?
Yeah, let me just pour my heart.
Yeah.
I don't do the New Year's resolution anymore. I feel like it's just like you set X goals and you go to achieve them. And I feel like that's been working so far. Not all of them have been achieved, but we're working towards it.
Work towards it at your own pace, I guess.
I've now said I will swim with sharks. I will swim with sharks one day.
Jeez, that sounds scary.
But it'll probably not happen, my friend.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Fair enough.
As someone who can't swim to be swimming with sharks, that could be
bit dangerous. Dangerous, no, bit. I wouldn't.
You don't recommend?
I'd bring a scuba mask at least.
I won't do it, man.
Oh,
I
mate.
just kind of wrote it there.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I would rate this quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would have been a fun noise to hear on the other end. I would rate this quarter probably 3 out of 4, 3 quarters out of 4 quarters. Yep.
It's a distinction.
Yep.
It's very good.
Yeah. Are we like thinking that like quarters is like the American like 25-cent coin? Sorry, I just came up with that, and that was so
that's a whole other question. That's a whole other question.
Yeah.
That's a silly coin.
It is a silly coin.
Nah, it's
what
ridiculous.
What if something costs 20 cents? Like, do they have 5-cent coins?
They do. They have dimes. They have nickels. They have pennies.
They're getting rid of the penny, apparently.
There you go.
Yeah. Fun times, yeah. 3 out of 4 quarters.
Yep. Dude, I think we're done.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything to add.
I feel like that's everything.
Everything in the corner. Well, look, guys, it's been great. It's been fun. This is probably our longest episode yet.
It is, I think.
We're planning on expanding our content, watch-alongs maybe down the line.
It takes a long time to recap a whole quarter and figure out, as well as a month. It's a lot to
There's
sort
quite
of
a bit
take
to
in.
go through. But, hey, man, we committed to getting this thing to be number 1. We're going after Rogan. We're going after PBD. We're going after Full Send. Going after everybody.
Everybody. Yeah. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can go to your email and send us a Gmail.
Website's coming soon.
Our email is smittyandpreasypod@gmail.com. Same as
double
our
T and double E.
Yes, and it's the same as our Instagram handle, which is @smittyandpreasypod. Our Twitter is @LukeProsperPod because it was too long. TikTok is the same as our Instagram, and Facebook. The link is facebook.com/smittyandpreasypod.
Yep.
So it's pretty easy to find us. We have just opened a Patreon, but we do not have any obligations for anyone to go there.
No.
But if you want to support us and help us to buy the equipment that's needed for running a podcast, and help us run this as an actual thing, any support matters. Chuck in $1 or any amount that you won't miss, but please don't feel pressured or anything because we have normal jobs and stuff, so we're not relying on anything like that. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on and a lot of stuff in the works that we want to try and put out there. But
for sure, I mean, big stuff coming in the future. We're playing around with the idea of video, playing around with, as I said before, watch-alongs, guests on the podcast.
Yes, that's
whatever that looks like, guys. Best believe we're committed to making it look spanky. But hey,
bonus content. You're like, hey, we're gonna talk to this person about this thing that they're really smart in or whatever.
Yeah. Nonetheless, it's been us. It's been real.
Good.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you when we see you.
See you next.
God bless.
Next episode.
Yeah. Adios.
Peace out.